same way he did just about everything, with intensity and passion. In a short speech to the 23,000 students, parents, and friends gathered, he very publicly shared very personal insights into his own life. "Today I want to tell you 3 stories from my life," he said. No more. Just 3 stories that defined an amazing life and provided a guide designed for people at the beginning of their adult lives. To understand who Steve Jobs was and what he became, it helps to start there, with the first of those 3 stories. Part 1. The Journey is the Reward. Chapter 1. Seeds. Steve Jobs' first story involved connecting dots, and it began with a most unusual promise. Joanne Scheibel was just 23 and attending graduate school in Wisconsin when she learned she was pregnant. Her father didn't approve of her relationship with a Syrian-born graduate student, and social customs in the 1950s frowned on a woman having a child outside of marriage. To avoid the glare, Scheibel moved to San Francisco and was taken in by a doctor who took care of unwed mothers and helped arrange adoptions. Originally, a lawyer and his wife agreed to adopt the new baby. But when the child was born on February 24, 1955, they changed their minds. Clara and Paul Jobs, a modest San Francisco couple with some high school education, had been waiting for a baby. When the call came in the middle of the night, they jumped at the chance to adopt the newborn, and they named him Stephen Paul. Scheibel wanted her child to be adopted by college-educated parents. Before the adoption could be finalized, however, she learned that neither parent had a college degree. She balked and only agreed to complete the adoption a few months later. "When my parents promised that I would go to college," Jobs said. Signing on to the hope of a bright future for their baby, the Jobs family settled in, adopting a daughter, Patty, a couple of years later. Little Steve proved to be a curious child and a challenging one to rear. He put a bobby pin into an electrical outlet, winning a trip to the emergency room for a burned hand. He got into ant poison, requiring yet another trip to the hospital to have his stomach pumped. To keep Steve busy when he got up before the rest of the household, his parents bought him a rocking horse, a record player, and some Little Richard records. He was so difficult as a toddler, his mother once confided, that she wondered if she had made a mistake adopting him. When Steve was 5, his father, Paul, was transferred to Palo Alto, about 45 minutes south of San Francisco. After serving in the Coast Guard during World War II, Paul had worked as a machinist and used car salesman, and now was working for a finance company collecting bad debts. In his free time, he fixed up used cars and sold them for a profit, money that would go to Steve's future college fund. The area south of San Francisco was largely undeveloped then, and dotted with apricot and prune orchards. The family bought a house in Mountain View, and as Paul put together his workshop in the garage, he set aside a part of it, telling his son, "Steve, this is your workbench now." He taught Steve how to use a hammer and gave him a set of smaller tools. Over the years, Jobs remembered, his dad spent a lot of time with me, teaching me how to build things, how to take things apart, put things back together. His father's careful craftsmanship and commitment to the finest details made a deep impression. He was a sort of genius with his hands. He can fix anything and make it work and take any mechanical thing apart and get it back together, Jobs told an interviewer in 1985. His father also stressed the importance of doing things right. For instance, his son learned, when you're a carpenter, making a beautiful chest of drawers, you're not going to use a piece of plywood on the back, even though it faces the wall and nobody will ever see it. You'll know it's there. So you're going to use a beautiful piece of wood on the back. That was a lesson Jobs would apply over and over to new products from Apple. For you to sleep well at night, the aesthetic, the quality, has to be carried all the way through, he said. Clara supported her young son as well, babysitting the children of friends in the evening to pay for swimming lessons. And because Steve was precocious,